5 lights, and away we go. I think everybody got a decent start there.
That's an insane start from Koushik. Exactly what he would have wanted. Oh, Upbeat Ferraro, he just sneaked onto the inside and he has to P2.
Salvage some points all the way down.
Eccentric sending down the inside on Oxygen, and Oxygen is coming back alongside. Putting his wheels, and he's side by side going around the outside. And I think he's got the move done. Yes, he has got the move. Oh, still there side by side. But it's got the inside line. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the round 4 of IRC Season 9 Tier 2021. This is me, Deepakraj, bringing you the action, and along with me, I have Simply, who's going to be commentating on this race. How are you doing, Simply?
I'm fine, Deepak. How are you?
Yep, doing pretty good. And this week, we are racing in the land of Rising Sun, Suzuka. So why not let's have a look at the track video and see a hot lap of that.
So 5.8 kilometer long circuit with 18 turns, 3 sectors, of course, 1 detection zone, only 1 DRS zone that is on the main straight. And as you can see, quite a lot of elevation changes. So let's go on a hot lap and let's see what time the hot lap set.
Alright then, let's go for a lap on board Envy in the AlphaTauri around Suzuka. Heading across the start finish line now, heading down towards turn 1. No braking till halfway into the corner. You do have to brake quite deep and turn at the same time. A difficult corner to get absolutely right. Then we head through the infamous Suzuka S section. Very difficult to place the car at the right point, and also be wary of the curbs, as if you get on them too much, they can spin you out. Now coming through the Dunlop corner, important to get your positioning right or you risk running wide. Now coming down to Degner's 1 and 2, important corners and are very crucial to lap time, so you do have to take them at maximum momentum. Underneath the gantry, and we head now towards the hairpin. You have to get your braking absolutely right, and an important traction zone as well, as there's a potential overtaking opportunity just down the track. Wind yourselves down towards the back part of the circuit, and we come towards the spoon corner, a long banking left-hander that's slightly off camber as well. Try not to run too wide on the outside. Hook the car in as we get ourselves down onto the back straight. Now heading down towards the infamous 130R corner. Very high speed, no DRS these days through this section because of safety concerns. Hook the inside apex just a little bit as we head towards the braking zone of the Casio triangle. Try to mount both curves at both apexes. As we come through the final corner, make sure to be careful of the bump, and that is a lap of the Suzuka circuit.
That was a brilliant hot lap from Envy, who is currently dominating this Tier 2021 championship rounds proceedings. What do you think of that lap, Simply?
That was a very quick lap around Suzuka, especially, with there being so many technical corners around this track where you have to really be on your toes. That was a very good lap from Envy.
Yep. And what are your personal thoughts about Suzuka?
I personally don't like it in terms of racing because, it's fairly tight. It takes a lot of skill to follow these drivers around, especially in these cars where, there's a lot of dirt here playing into effect compared to the 22 cars. Although, in terms of qualifying as well as time trial, it is a fairly good track.
Well, I for one am someone who really likes tracks like these where it's just fast and flowing and just, there is literally no break to your sequence. It just keeps carrying on. The only place where you need to slow down quite a lot is Casio chicane and of course the hairpin. But other than that, it's just such a fast and flowing track. And like you said, it's so satisfying when you get the hot lap absolutely right. It's such an amazing track. But racing, of course, yes, it's a bit here and there. It's a bit of hit or miss kind of a track, but it can still provide some absolutely amazing action.
Yeah, definitely. As long as these drivers keep it clean into turn 1 and, make sure that they're not making any mistakes, We can definitely see very good racing, especially through Sector 1 with those S's where it's very, very tricky to get those corners right.
Yep, that is absolutely right. The first corner is going to be a biggest threat to these guys, at least in the race start, because it's not a corner where you could easily go 2 wide or 3 wide. All it takes is just a little mistake, a little slip up, and it's possibly race ending for yourself and for a few other guys who are unfortunate enough to follow you as well.
Yeah, definitely. When there is such close racing as we've seen in this tier, anyone making a mistake ahead of any other driver would certainly mean that there's going to be a massive car pileup that's going to form because of just one driver's mistake. And we have loaded into the qualifying. Can we get the weather data up, Deepak?
Yep, trying to get it up.
Anyways, while we are trying to get that weather data up, I've just remembered something, Deepak. Actually, 2 seasons ago, I got my first ever league racing win here in Japan. So I guess it is somewhat of a special track for me, although I personally don't like it.
That's an interesting thing, because I mean, even I got my first race pole over here, but that's a race that I did not wish to talk much about because I had an embarrassing retirement through that race. So
Yeah.
this track is kind of bittersweet for me, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, it is the nature of this track. Either you're gonna have the absolute, the best race of your life because of your dominance, or you're just gonna lose it in the middle of the race, and that's essentially becomes the worst race of your life.
Yep.
As you can see, there's a few drivers coming out of the pits right now. Abhi, then in the this is out Koushik Tummala, who's making a return after quite a long time in the Mercedes with Fuzzy Dunlop, and just I think the weather is okay. The data's not up still. We're trying to get that for you, for the viewers over here. Followed by Koushik Tummala of the pits is SimplyYT, who's also making a return this season after I would say somewhat dominating last season in McLaren with Inc. That was a very good season to watch as well. Then we have Turbochoco's out. Just a second, we're paused. We're just trying to get the weather telemetry up so that we can see if the race and the qualifying as well will be dry or wet. While we're trying to get it up, I would say that if you are interested in joining IRC and racing with us, then head on over to indianracingcommunity.co.in, get yourself signed up, link your Discord over there, and join our Discord server to race with us. While you're at it, we have Tier-21 as we are live with right now, as well as 2 tiers in F122 that we are running, and we are going to have Suzuka there as well this weekend on Sunday, Tier 2 at 2:30 p.m. and Tier 1, the fastest boys in IRC that we have, will be live at 8 p.m. this Sunday. Apologies, 9 p.m. this Sunday due to the real life Belgian Grand Prix being held at, I believe, 6:30 p.m. IST. So there will be somewhat of a delay, just an hour delay, but yeah, 9 p.m. IST on Sunday for Tier 1 at Suzuka. Deepak, can you tell us about the ACC race this weekend?
Yep. This weekend we are racing in Bathurst, which is quite a chaotic track to say the least. All of the races that we had so far has been providing some good action. I mean, depending on who you ask, it's a track that's most loved or most hated. But whatever it is, it's never known or under delivered. So that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. And now coming back to our Tier 21 boys, Abhi sets the first lap of this weekend with a 130.166, followed by Inderdes with a 131.302. We have multiple drivers on the laps. Only ABD, Deadshot and Ink deciding to stay in the pit, as Koushik Tummala, our returning driver in Tier 21 over here in the Mercedes, says the 30.5 as a banker lap. Fuzzy Dunlops has set a time of a 130.8, provisionally putting a P4. Slayer YT goes faster than Koushik Tummala at P2 with a 130.445. I think these are pretty solid banker laps, Deepak.
Yep, definitely it is a good problem. And you already have a retirement without a spoon section. Looks
And
like
that
that's
is sort of bad. And unfortunately, it is Envy as well. I think there was some sort of a collision. Apologies, there was no collision, but yeah, both the drives hit at the same time, and it's definitely not gone well for Envy, considering he is in the title fight this season.
I don't know where Envy retired because it happened under the figure 8 section. I don't know if it was after the Degner 2 or before 130, but definitely I think it might be Degner 2 because that's the place where you could spin out and lose your traction. As you see, Dark Knight is coming around, finishing his first lap, going to the final corner. Let's see what kind of time he puts up.
31.8, a decent bank lap as well for Dark Knight over here, and there is yellow flags throughout sector 1 and 2. And 5 place grid penalty for Neon with the collision with ABD. Neon, of course, as well, our returning driver, our own coordinator. He has now returned to League Racing, and he already has had a collision with ABD, and now he's got a 5 place grid penalty.
That's not something that I've seen quite often. Must have been a very big collision or some weird thing that was going on, but whatever it is, that's not something you want to see right after you start your quali. This Leia has gone much faster right now. It's at 130.1. Although not a lot splitting them, but still it's enough to put him in provisional pole.
Yeah, definitely. And as the track is evolving with these drivers, driving on the track right now in their qualifying, trying to set their best banker lap that they can, the track is evolving a lot, so we will definitely be able to see faster lap times. And do you think, Deepak, the pole lap will be in the 28s?
You see, Blaze has gone faster. It's at 129.9. Again, it's not a lot, but they're doing just enough to put themselves up in the front. So yeah, they're doing pretty good. I think 28s would be a bit close, but yeah, I would still not count it out. There might be someone coming in with that kind of a lap time.
Yeah, there definitely could be with a really quick driver, Koushik, who is on pace with Envy or even faster than Envy on race pace. It'd be interesting to see if Koushik can dip into the 28th, since he definitely has that pace with him, as Abhi goes faster with the 29.6. I think we're underestimating these drivers. So Deepak, let me rephrase my question. Do you think these drivers will dip into the 27s here?
Okay, that's quite a lot of confidence, but yeah, I definitely think they might get close to it. I don't think
Yeah, could be. And apologies because that telemetry is for whatever reason not working. Although on the track map we can see that someone went fastest in the first sector. I believe it was ABD. We're on board with ABD right now as he's going through sector 2, a very tricky hairpin over here. Your car really wants to wash away a very, either you're understeering there or you're oversteering there. It's very hard to keep the car maintained properly, although I think ABD has gone through those corners well. He's behind both the McLarens. I don't think there will be much of the dirty air effect over here right now.
Retired from the session. What happened to him? I think he spun out of the Degner 2, and we see Mighty Owl has also retired from the session.
Yeah, and ABD goes 10th fastest with a 31.4, decent banker lap. But yeah, these corners, these very tricky Degner corners, are really catching these drivers up, Deepak.
Yep, and the curves are very punishing in this in this particular game. So we'll also see a lot of deaths happening like that. And you see, Karthik is on his hot lap, one of our contenders for pole. Didn't show up last round, but he is back.
Certainly is back, and we saw very good teamwork from him as well as Ink in the first 2 rounds, I believe. And as he set the fastest first sector, this is a very weird and tricky corner as well, because on the exit, your car just isn't settled at all unless you have some sort of a very, I'd say, downforce your mechanically grippy setup. That corner is very tricky. So as this, I mean, the downforce does come into effect here a little bit, but again, either you're understeering here or you're oversteering here. To get the only way to really mitigate is to get a very, very good line through there. And I think Karthik's definitely has done that since he's gone fastest in the second sector according to the track map on the bottom right hand of your screens. He's coming to he's coming through the chicanes, which are also fairly tricky to get the line right, and he crosses the line, goes P3 behind Blaze and Abhi with a 30.047. Looks okay on board with Sai, and he just lost it going through the S's. This is what we were talking about earlier. If you're not staying focused through those corners, you're definitely going to lose it. He did lose it, went into the wall. He's lost his wing. Thankfully, did not retire, so he does get a second chance at the qualifying over here, considering that he set a fairly, I'd say, I mean, it's not the best of lap times that is Sai Tarun said, although Ink is now going fastest in the second sector as well, but I definitely think that's bugged.
I would definitely say take the purple sector indication with a pinch of salt because the cane is known to bug out like that. But Ink goes P5. Not a very bad lap. It's a pretty close top order right now, except Abhi, who is 3 tenths separated. But everyone else, they seem to be much closer to each other.
Yeah, again, as we've seen in the past couple of races, these drivers are fairly close to each other, and there's been yellow flags in sector 1, 2, and 3 multiple times. I don't think there have been any crashes, I'd say. I think it's just drivers slowing down to give way to other drivers. On board with Inder Des now in the Haas. He's currently in P11. He was one of the first people to set a lap time. Again, yellow flag in sector 1, 2, and 3, so there's definitely a bit of traffic going on here. So Deepak, do you think that perhaps in their final runs there could be some sort of traffic forming and that could hinder a few drivers' laps?
Yeah, that is always a possibility because the S section you need the absolute clear line, and seeing a car going through would definitely put you off, and you don't really want to see that happening. So that's definitely a possibility. Oh, that's a very generous track right there. So he just invalidates his lap. A lot of power there.
Yeah, and that is this and next lap. So I think that lap time would have put him in the top 6. So that would have been a good lap time if he just kept it clean. Although yeah, he just cut across the corner there, so he did invalidate. Although he will have a chance to now go back into the pits, but slap on a new fresh set of tires and have a shot at it again. As you can see, Blaze was on his second lap over here on fresh tires, has invalidated it as well. So he'll be looking to recharge and go again. He's, I'd say, definitely the undercard over here. So because we didn't really expect Blaze to be doing so well. Of course, I don't really want to underestimate any of these drivers. All of them are very, very quick over here. But yeah, Blaze was definitely the unexpected one over here.
Yeah, he definitely has been putting in some strong performances. There have been some questionable moves in races at least, but he's definitely shown some really good solid pace in the past few rounds, and really looking forward for what kind of performance he could throw up this round.
Yeah, definitely, and we're on board with Slayer right now, who is improving on his first sector time by 200ths of a second. He's slightly being hindered by the Alpine ahead of him, which is going to give him a lot of vertigo. He does get slightly loose on the exit over there. He took the curb on the exit. Of course, over here, going through this section, you have to really stick to the right-hand side to gain as much time as possible. Going slightly off wide, if he went off any wider, he would have definitely validated. And yeah, he's really sticking close to the track limits over here, Deepak.
Yep, that was very close to invalidation on the spoon exit. He's definitely making use of the track limits right there, and as he tackles 130R, keeps it within. I think he'd have used a bit more of the track, but goes through a Cassia triangle now. Keeps it clean. That was a bit edgy coming up there. He could have got a better exit, but still managed to get a good exit to the final corner. Does he do?
Nope, he goes 700ths lower. I think it would have also not helped the fact that Dark Knight was ahead of him on a lap as well. And of course, Dark Knight doesn't really have to cede way since he was on a fast lap himself. So Leia really just got hindered over there. I mean, he of course has the opportunity to go again now, just recharge his batteries and go again. But yeah, I think that advantage of those fresher tires out of the pits itself is massive over here. And considering that he's already done one push lap, it's going to be difficult for him to set a faster lap time here.
Yep, and since we couldn't see the telemetry and the weather settings, we don't know what kind of weather is coming up. So if it's gonna be a dry race, these guys would want to take care of the tires because they wouldn't want to burn these tires up so that and lose a lot on the race session. So they got to be careful on that aspect.
That too, considering that in this game, according to real life regulations as well, in 2021, you have to start, if you're starting the top 10, that is, you have to start on the quali tires that you used to, of course, qualify. So they'll have to take care of tire management over here as well, considering that, these high speed corners really put pressure on these tires, especially, I believe, the right hand side ones. So it's going to be really important for them to manage the tires while having very, very, I'd say, solid pace around here, because if you're even somewhat slow, I believe like 2-3 tenths slower than the car ahead, you do essentially at the end of the day lose a lot of time over lap or 2 laps and such, and the driver band can really catch up. So these drivers will have to really be focused over here, considering the nature of the track.
Yeah, like I said, this track is something that demands your undivided attention, and you can't just wave off on your attention. That will just throw you out. Like, because corners like SS, it's absolutely critical that you keep your line. Even a little mistake will set you off line, and that's gonna make you lose a lot of time. So it demands your absolute attention, like you said.
Definitely. It's basically like a faster Monaco, I believe we could say. Monaco, of course, being the track where you need to provide 100% of your attention. I believe here you can somewhat slack off, but yeah, you really can't slack off that much. You have to stay on your toes 24/7, as we're on board with Koushik, who is in the Mercedes as a reserve this weekend. He's going through the first sector over here. These S's, these very tricky S's that you have to absolutely nail. And to be honest, these S's could absolutely make or break your lap. And by the looks of it, Koushik is really nailing these corners right here.
Yep, he seems to be hitting all the apexes, did not stray wide or anything. He seems to be sticking to his line. As he goes to Degner 1, takes enough of the inside curb. Could have maybe used some of the outside, but he just manages to get through that. Goes to Degner 2, and as you're approaching the hairpin, let's see what kind of line he takes. It's down. Nice and deep apex on that. Seems to be a decent exit, not too bad. And as the approach Spoon corner, now that corner is also going to be very critical because you have very long straight, so he needs to get his exit absolutely right if he has the challenge for the top 3 at least.
Definitely, and I'm not sure if you noticed or not, Deepak, in the first sector he was up by 7 tenths, and if he continues with the same trend, he's definitely going to be on pole over here as he's crossing the second sector line. Let's see, how much is he up by? 1.3 seconds, so that's definitely going to be a pole up if he can keep it through this chicane and does not invalidate. Really sticking close to the track limits over here. Gets a very good exit. Coming across the line, turning on the DRS, coming across the line. He goes fastest with a 28.9.
That was an amazing lap from him.
Definitely, and
Ink is rounding up his lap, and he goes up to P5. And Karthik's still on his lap. He's up by 4 tenths on sector 2.
Sector 1, Deepak, he's just in sector 2 right now.
That was my bad.
Yeah. And while we're on board with Karthik sub, Blaze improved up into P4. Alex is in P3 currently. Of course, all of them are on a lap as qualifying is now over. These will be the last runs, and I think Koushik really does not have much to worry about unless Karthik can really punch in a proper purple lap here, either Karthik or Alex or even Blaze, as a matter of fact.
Yep, those guys still haven't took the checkered flag, so which means that they still have a chance to do something. But the closest one seems to be Karthik, who seems to be doing a good lap so far. Let's see what kind of exit he gets through the chicane.
Again, sticking very close to the track limits over here. Gets a very good exit as well. Turns on the DRS, goes across the line. P2 for Karthik. But yeah, look at that gap, Deepak. Koushik is in his own league right now in terms of qualifying pace at least.
Yep, Koushik has came back and he has announced it with an amazing lap time. So far, I think Blaze is still on a hot lap, is he? I don't think so.
I believe he is. Is he?
Yep, he is.
He is. So it turns on his DRS going across the line. P4 full
Cool.
Blaze.
That's a good quality performance. Even Sai Tarun has run a good lap. He's in P5 right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he would have preferred to start P4 instead of P5. But then again, he now has the opportunity to get slipstream from his teammate who is Abhi in P3 currently. And can we go on board Alex, please, Deepak?
I think he is just rounding around the track. He's not on a lap right now.
He has backed out as well. So that is the end of qualifying over here in Japan for our Tier 21 boys. And that was a very, very good qualifying here.
Yep, indeed. We did see some unfortunate retirements. I think Envy would have made the pole battle a bit more spicier, but he had retired. But still, it was a really good fight at the top until Koushik just came and smashed that time.
Yeah, definitely. Koushik again, his first race back, and he's already smashed it on pole with the what 128.959. That is a very, very good lap, and he's, I believe, 4 tenths ahead of Karthik sub. So yeah, I mean, he's just showing that what he's capable of, and he can definitely put in a solid performance here, and perhaps even win if he can keep it clean.
Yep, that definitely is on the cards. So he just needs to get his start right, make sure he doesn't get involved in any incidents, and he is for sure gonna have a good result on his hands.
Definitely, and as we can see, qualifying is now officially over. So that is Koushik on pole with the 128.959, followed by Karthik sub in the Aston Martin. Almost 5 tenths the gap between Karthik and Koushik again. Koushik has a very, very good race pace here. This is what I've heard, so it'll be interesting to see what he can put in as well. Abhi in P3, followed by Blaze, Sai Tarun, Alex, Leia, Ink, Dark Knight, Uday, Neon, who has a 5-place grid penalty, Fuzzy Dunlop, Turbochuk, Like Mike, who also races in Tier X, Inderdes, ABD, Mighty Owl, and ABD also has a 5-place grid penalty, followed by Mighty Owl, Surfpad, Deadshot, and Envy. So I think ABD will be starting last.
Yep.
And yeah, well, that was very, very. Again, I'm absolutely out of words because that's something we did not expect. I mean, I knew that Koushik was very, very quick, but I did not expect to be him. I didn't expect him to be about 5 tenths quick. But yeah, very, very solid lap time from him. And I'm just trying to get the weather here for the race.
Just
Trying to get
looks
the
like
telemetry working.
bone dry kind of condition. So
Right
let's
now,
have a look
unless
at the championship standings in the meantime. Like,
Yep, and we can see Ink is currently leading the drivers' championship with 72 points. Envy is following very, very closely behind him. Karthik sub as well. He's definitely in the mix too. And we can see, of course, Aston Martin with Ink and Karthik sub. Very, very good teamwork from the both of them. They are leading right now in the WCC as well, the constructors standings with 127 points. They're a fair distance away from Alpine currently as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out for them. I believe Aston Martin are in a very solid contention for the WCC here, as we're on the grid waiting for the drivers to set their strategies, change their fuel, change their tires if they're starting outside of top 10. And I've just gotten intel, Deepak, that the whole race will be dry.
hey, so we don't have any crazy weather curveballs coming away then.
Definitely. I mean, I don't think anything so far has topped the Silverstone race in terms of weather curveballs, at least. But yeah, it's still, all of the races have still been interesting. So yeah, and the drivers are riding up as we are waiting to go into the formation lap. And someone's readied up, so just waiting out on that. We'll soon get going with our formation lap in just about 5 seconds here. And the formation lap is off. Apologies, starting right now. Again, we're just trying our best to get the weather and other telemetry working as well. But we're just having some technical difficulties here, so do apologize. We do apologize for such. Although if anything does happen in the formation lap, we'll get to know soon. So we'll be keeping an eye out. Once again, while we're in the formation lab, waiting for the telemetry to start working again, I'd like to say we'll be back with Japan on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. for our Tier 2 boys, and 8 p.m. for our Tier 1 boys. So if you're interested in racing with us, then do head on over to indianracingcommunity.co.in, get yourself signed up, join our Discord server, and we'll see you on the track, I guess. And we also have ACC that is tomorrow at Bathurst. Very tricky track for the drivers as well. I guess you could say the GT3 Monaco, I guess some would like to call it. So, Bathurst tomorrow with the ACC boys at 8:30 p.m., I think, or 9 p.m. Not sure about the timings. Deepak, can you confirm the ACC timings for us?
Yeah, ACC race starts at 8:30 tomorrow. So, yep.
So ACC starts at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, and we're gonna have, of course, F122 on Sunday. So make sure to join our Discord server if you're interested with racing with us. And as we can see, our drivers are lining up on the grid. And the Tier 1 race is at 9 p.m. Apologies. The Tier 1 race is at 9 p.m. after the IRL Spa GP, in hoping that it does not get delayed like last year, and everything.
Yep, apologies,
happens
can't get
according to
the
schedule.
telemetry running, so we're just gonna have to go with whatever the game tells us right now.
Yeah, we can see our drivers lining up. ABD is indeed starting from last. Neon is in P15, splitting the horses, and Deepak, why don't you take us through the start?
Sure. See the drivers are lined up. We're still waiting for the lights to come on.
Last few cars lining up.
4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out. And Neon already gets a jump start penalty. He got a drive through, and Koushik seems to have gotten a good launch. Karthik is tucking right behind him, as is Abhi. Blaze is also right there, and we see a Red Bull of Sai Tarun going wide. You see 2x2 into the corner. Somehow they're all making it through. I think they're all cleanly through right now. That's good to see. Expected a lot more carnage, but these guys have somehow kept it through. And we see Alex is still hounding Blaze to get a move on, but Blaze keeps his position right now. And yep, we are through. This is actually I would consider this a miracle.
Definitely a very, very, very bad start for Neon. I mean, he got the drive, and on top of that, he's down into P18. Very good start for ABD. He's up into P16 already. And yeah, we're actually kind of happy that we did not see any carnage tournament. And we can see Sai Tarun, I believe he's desynced over here. So yeah, Sai Tarun's definitely having some desyncing issues right now. So let's hope he can fix it out so that he does not cause any collisions. Very good start from Koushik, of course. The rest of the drivers are maintaining position, and as we can see, Slayer is now trying to fight Sai Tarun. Sai Tarun had a very, very bad start as well, and Slayer, for whatever reason, is not wearing a helmet. Safety first, guys, wear a helmet. But yeah, you can see Slayer is now trying to attack Sai Tarun. Sai Tarun, who's basically holding off everyone else from the front sticks. We can see, and Sai Tarun has disconnected.
So that's not something that we'd like to see.
Definitely, Sai Tarun will be absolutely impatient to join back, but that just helps now. Play as Fuzzy Dunlop is pulling off into the pits. I think he has some sort of damage. Fuzzy Dunlop also gets 5 seconds of screening in the pit lane. Neon also pits to serve his drive through, and I'd say a very fairly clean first lap. And we can see ABD, who is on mediums. Likewise with Mike.
Oh, that's
and he has
damage.
a bit of collision. Yeah, that's not gone well for ABD. ABD will definitely be very, very angry right now, because he had a very, very good start on the mediums, and now his strategy is completely ruined.
Yep, I can already hear him yelling in his VC, but yeah, this is definitely gone from bad to worse for him.
Yeah, and I bet that ABD is definitely screaming in his VC, and he's just hoping for a safety car now because that just did not work out well for him considering he is starting on the mediums. Took a bit of a risk over here, and we can see Deadshot, Envy are going side by side right now. Deadshot lets Envy by since he's clearly the faster driver. Envy is now trying to attack Sort of Pat for P13. Mighty Owl, in the meantime, makes a move on Sai Tarun's ghosted AI. Sai Tarun has again left the session, so he's definitely having some sort of internet connection issues over here. So it's not gone well for Sai Tarun, who started P5, and we can see Envy is closed up a lot on Sort of Fat. And Koushik Tummala says the fastest lap of the race. He's already pulled away 1 second in a matter of 3 laps. Koushik really punching in those laps. This is putting a lot of pressure on Envy over here, because he definitely has the pace of fighting Karthik Sub as well as Koushik to get that P1 over here. And we can see Ink is now putting pressure on Alex. Alex, who had, I'd say, a decent start himself. He has dropped a few positions over here, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter much since he does have a lot of pace. Uday pits and he gets speeding in the pit lane, 5 seconds over there. And there's a bit of fight going on. The pit lane itself, I believe someone overtook someone. Over here we can see Envy, he's on the back of Sort of Fat. Sort of Fat is behind Sai Tarun. Sai Tarun is a disconnected car, of course. They've cleared Sai Tarun. And now...
Oh, he's making him on a techno one. That's not... That was a very late move. I don't know how he managed to clear it through.
I'm kind of speechless as well, because I definitely wasn't expecting such a risky move from Envy, although he has kept it clean and he's gotten past Sort of Bad. Now his next chance will be Like Mike, a driver who races in Tier X as well, and he's taking his shot in Tier 21 on PC with our boys as well. Like Mike, of course, trying to attack Mighty Owl for P10. Mighty Owl makes a bit of a mistake. Like Mike catches up a bit to him, although Like Mike is on medium, so I think this will be a fairly easy move for Envy. Will he try to make a move through 130, or will he close up? They're going side by side. Envy looks down the inside, backs off. Mighty Owl and Like Mike are going side by side. Mighty Owl goes off wide. Now Envy and Like Mike are going side by side. Envy makes a move around the outside, sticks it. Now his next challenge is Mighty Owl. Mighty Owl does not have the DRS. Envy does. Will Envy again make another risky move down the inside in turn 1? We'll have to see. He's closing up on him. They're now going side by side. Envy just clears off Mighty Owl as well. So we can just see how very quick Envy is, and plus how strong the effect of DRS plus Slipstream is over here.
Yep, and Ink just made the move on Alex, so he has cleared him. Now Slayer is on the back of Alex. He'll be trying to get clear of him pretty soon. And Blaze has already got a 3-second penalty, so already we are through with the track limit penalties.
Exactly, yeah, this track is very, very, I'd say, annoying for track limits, and we can see Blaze is definitely feeling that annoyance as well, since he does have those 3 seconds. He's just hoping the drivers around him also get 3 seconds, so that he somewhat feels safe. Otherwise, he'll be dropping a lot of positions over here. Although we can see in their base is now trying to fight Deadshot as Sai Tarun joins back. Hopefully, stays. Deadshot gets loose on the exit over here on softs. Deadshot is not having a very good first 5 laps over here right now. He's just helping Inderdes. Inderdes using a bit of his ERS tactically. Inderdes is on mediums, of course, so it's not a good look for Deadshot considering that the tire wear is fairly high. Deadshot has gone up wide. He's gone into the grass. Can we go on for Deadshot? Okay, Deadshot keeps it clean, although he did went on to the gravel and the grass. So I don't think he had any collisions over there. Although now we can see Blaze is closing up on Abhi, who's being somewhat held up by Karthik Sub as Envy says the fastest lap of the race. We can see that Blaze is really, really closing in on Abhi through the first sector, especially. He's absolutely nailing these corners.
Yeah, last lap he almost closed out to almost like made the move. Like the timing was going down. I thought he made the move, but somehow Abhi held up. So yeah, let's see what kind of battle we have in store for us.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say that they were going... apologies. Blaze could try to make a move into the Dagners, but he was just slightly far back from Abhi, so he couldn't do that. So I think he'll be next. The next realistic overtaking position is in 130R. He'll be trying to make a move there, and we can see Envy's already close up onto Turbo Chook. And there's yellow flags in Sector 1. I think that is Sai Tarun who's currently in control of his car. So the race is not going well for Sai Tarun. I bet he's hoping for a safety car right now as well. Envy is absolutely nailing this hairpin as well, the spoon corner it is, I believe. And again, I think Envy is the type of guy to try and make a move into the last corner, especially at Japan. With his soft tires, I think he'll have a much more advantage. He's already in the back of Turbo Chook. He looks down the inside, thinks the better with Turbo Chook. Really blocks Envy off perfectly over there, so he cannot make a move there. Although Envy gets a very good exit out of the final corner, turns on his DRS, and moving up ahead, we can see Alex has made a move on Ink. Ink is really struggling over here. Not sure. I think he made some sort of a mistake. And we can see Envy. He is past Turbo Chook right now. And Envy is really charging ahead in the field. Although Envy will have to pit soon, considering he is on the soft tires and they don't really go for long. But yeah, Blaze is still hunting down Abhi. Although their fight is not helping them at all, since now Ink and Slayer and Alex are now closing in onto them, although these three are having their own little battle over here as well. So Ink was overtaken by Alex. Now Slayer's putting pressure on Ink, the two teammates from last season. It'll be interesting to see what comes out at the end of this. Deadshot gets 3 seconds, and Slayer and the Alfa Romeo reserving in the Alfa Romeo today. He is closing in on Ink. Ink is struggling a lot with the pace over here today. I mean, he had a very good first 2 rounds, but he's struggling a lot since Bahrain. Although I believe he will definitely try and pull back, I guess, in the later stage of the race, since the soft tires, beginning tire, are not very good. And now Slayer has overtaken Ink round the outside, going into the final chicane. That was a very, very brave move from Slayer. Kept it clean. I think he does not get the DRS. Ink does get the DRS, although I don't think it'll be enough. And we can see Blaze has now made a move on Abhi for P3. Abhi was also struggling for pace. Blaze was really punching down on Abhi, and he's finally made a move into turn 1 on Abhi in the Red Bull. And we can see Slayer is past Ink. We missed that. But yeah, Slayer's past Ink. Ink is really struggling with pace since he's 8/10 behind Slayer already. So Slayer's punching in the laps as well, as we're on board with Saurav Pat, who's hunting down Turbo Chook. And again, through Sector 1, really tricky, although Saurav Pat is keeping it clean. I believe he's running a higher downforce setup than Turbo Chook, considering that you really need the downforce through the first sector. And he did close in a lot through the first sector. Sai Tarun now gets 3 seconds, so this is just putting salt to the wound here for him, Deepak.
Yeah, I mean, Sai Tarun, he's gonna be very angry because that collision. I think, did he get some wing damage? I think he might have gotten away without any damage, but yeah, that looked very, very close to putting a dent in his race. But I think he just gets to carry on. And up ahead, we also see Slayer has closed up on Alex, and he's going for a move. Nope. That looked very weird, didn't it? He backed out a long way back. I think he could have easily made the move because he stuck to it.
I think he backed out because he wanted to get the DRS, since it's very, very strong here, considering that these drivers are running a high downforce setup. Having the DRS means that, of course, your drag gets reduced a lot. You lose a lot of rear downforce, and we can see how much Slayer is just closing in. Alex blocks him off, so Slayer has to, of course, back off as well. So Slayer fails to make a move. Oh, then I think Deepak, you were right. I think he should have made the corner through, should have made the move through 130R itself, considering how much pace he has. I believe he should have pulled away through the chicane and the final corner.
Yeah, he could have, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Slayer's content to stay behind Alex and pile on the pressure as it stands.
Yeah, definitely. And while we were talking about Slayer and Alex, Ink has now closed in after he was passed by Slayer last lap, and Mightyall also had a bit of a moment back there. And now Slayer is trying to make a move round the outside of Alex, and yeah, just cannot get it done. That corner is very, very tricky and essentially not a very good place to make a move. And as we can see now, Alex is really blocking off Slayer. He's really desperate for him to not make a move, whereas Slayer is desperate to make a move. And Slayer is really, really pressuring Alex over here. And Slayer is definitely under pressure from Ink behind. And now Dark Knight is closing in as well. And Dark Knight is just getting pressured by Envy. And now Slayer is going side by side with Alex. Slayer passes Alex through 130R. Very good move from him. And
Ink
now he's
also
getting
goes for it.
Ink goes for it. They have a bit of a contact over there, but I don't think anyone has any damage. It was a really good move from Ink, a very far send. And I don't think, apologies, Envy is now overtaking Dark Knight. He's gone past Dark Knight. Of course, Envy is really punching in these laps. He's really closing up onto them. Now Ink is trying to make a move on Slayer after he passed him 2 laps ago. But then again, all of this fighting is helping none of them, because it's only helping Envy out over here.
Yeah, Envy is gonna be praying for these guys to fight on even with more, because that is just bringing much closer and closer. He's already the back of these guys, so it's gonna be, if this goes on, it's gonna be no time before Envy makes a move on these guys.
Definitely, and we can already see Envy was sending a few risky moves earlier in the race. So I don't think he'll be afraid to send those now yet again. And we can see now things have somewhat settled down as Mighty Owl has another spin, as now Koushik gets 3 seconds. Although he is 5 seconds ahead of Karthik Sub. If there is a safety car, Koushik just right now at this point he's just hoping there is no safety car, because that can really screw his race over.
Yep, that's for sure. Safety car really bunches up the field, and it will nullify all the advantage, and he's gonna have to do it all over again if that happens. But right now Envy is closing up on Alex. I think he should go for a move, or maybe just to pay. Oh, Mighty Owl has retired. Wonderful. That be safety car. This is a safety car.
And we have cursed Koushik yet again. We have cursed the leader yet again, is what I meant to say. But yeah, now Koushik is cursed. Koushik has stayed out while Karthik Sub and Blaze have pit. I think Koushik was just too far ahead from the pit lanes, hence why he couldn't pit over there. And yeah, this has not gone well for Koushik at all, and we can see Karthik Sub just teleported ahead of Blaze this game, and it's decent
Blaze
issue.
has gone to the hearts. What do you think of that choice?
They will last longer than the mediums. I think he's just looking at it towards the long run, and considering that he wasn't really on pace with Karthik Sub, and now Uday is disqualified from the session for ignoring yellow flags.
That's a weird thing to see. I think we did not see the safety car. What's going on? But whatever it was, he is out of the session now. And we have a mixture of tires right now. We got soft, mediums, and hards. Everything is in play.
Yeah, and considering we are on lap 10 currently, and we have about 17 laps to go, the mediums will definitely last, but I'm not sure why the drivers have elected to go onto the hards. The hards will, of course, outlast the mediums. They're going to last longer. They're going to have the pace for longer compared to the mediums. So in the last about 5-6 laps, they're going to have a lot of pace advantage over the mediums. But in the first, I believe, like those 10 laps that we're going to have, I think the medium runners are going to be significantly faster, and it's not going to help out the hard runners at all.
Also, this is kind of a traction sensitive circuit as well. So, hard tires with their low levels of grip could be a bit of a hindrance for these guys, could be a bit of a risk as well.
Definitely, yeah. If the tires are not warm up to the proper temperature, then they could definitely have a bit of a moment, especially at the safety car reset, when all of them are just eager to go, just waiting on the throttle to, when the leader goes and when they can get a jump on the leader or whoever the car is ahead of them. And that is what essentially we are seeing over here right now. The drivers on hards are really going to struggle with that, since the hards take a long time to get into temperature. Them sitting behind the safety car is not going to help them out either, since they'll have to weave a lot. And as now Koushik has pit, and of course I do believe then my theory was right. He missed the pit entry when the safety car came out. So now he's pit, and now he's back down into P9. So that puts Karthik Sub, who's on the mediums, in the lead, followed by
even go down
Blaze.
to P10.
Will he?
Yep.
Yes, he does.
This is
Okay.
nightmare scenario for him. He's just gonna have to do it all over again.
Yeah, this is not gone well for Koushik at all.
Yep, plus he has a 3 seconds time penalty as well, so he needs to counter that.
Yeah, and considering the amount of laps left and how quickly the laps go by in Japan, I don't think he'll be able to salvage much out of this. Of course, he has the pace. He's faster than Envy on race pace in Japan at least. So that's definitely going to help him out. But of course, as you said, what's not going to help him out is the fact that he is in P10 right now, behind 9 other drivers, and he has 3 seconds worth of time penalty. And
Did Sai
At the
Tarun
end of the
pit
day-
again on the safety car?
I believe he has, yeah.
He came out on hard, he came out on medium. Don't know what happened, whether he had a cold feet regarding the tires or did he have any wing damage, I'm not so sure, but whatever it is, he's on the mediums and he is starting to come back off the grid again.
Yeah, Sai Tarun qualified P5 and then got a very bad start and then just disconnected. So now he's in last P18 and he is very close to ABD. ABD, who's a fairly quick driver as well, but has been unlucky in the last few races. So Sai will have to watch out to make sure if ABD does make a mistake, he does not get collected, especially at the safety car restart.
Yep, fast but unlucky. I would say that's I think that have a few drivers here. We have ABD, Sai Tarun, and even Alex. Like he showed brilliant pace even in Bahrain, but just got unlucky with some incidents. And even in this race, he was running a decent position, but I think the timing of the safety car and certain other aspects didn't really come to his aid over there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to help him out here as well. And Sai definitely has a lot of pace. So if he can get past ABD, then I think that he's going to have a very good comeback this race as well. And I can confirm, Deepak, that Sai gets 3 seconds. So
Oh,
that's
I
not
mean,
going to
here
help
in
him
the
out
safety
either.
car. Oh,
Yeah, I'm confused as well, Deepak. I'm not going to lie. Safety car will be going in this lap. And I can confirm, Deepak, Uday did try to pass the safety car to try and unlap himself.
oh.
But he ended up getting disqualified. So he tried to do what he did last season. Last season, of course, it worked out for him. This season, it did not work out. The game did what was right and disqualified him. So,
I
yeah, that
mean,
is the end of his race.
Usually, when the safety car comes out, wouldn't it prompt the other guys to pass? It'll be like waiting for leaders to catch something like that. Or did it actually caught the leader and then he made to pass?
He was ahead, so he was behind the safety car, and then the leader was there close to him. So essentially, the safety car did start moving throughout the track, and then he just tried to unlap himself.
That's unfortunate.
Sorry I was about to say sorry to cut you off, but I didn't really cut you off. But yeah, Dark Knight has made slight mistake, and he's dropped off 2 positions under the safety car.
I think probably he might have been held up in the pits, something like that. Because I mean, everyone was scrambling into the pits. There could have been some kind of a double stack scenario where he could have lost out a little bit.
Actually, he just as we were entering the second sector, he made a mistake and he's fallen back down into P9
Ah, okay.
from P7.
Okay. So the tire warm up tactics backfiring, I guess.
Yeah, so we can see safety cars definitely going to go in. These drivers are warming their tires up, weaving a lot. Just trying not to put too much wear into their tires as well, and it did not work out for Dark Knight. It's working out for the rest of the field as well. As safety car is now going in this lap. Karthik Sub is leading us right now, followed by Blaze, Abhi, Slayer, and Ink, and Envy as well, top 6. Very, very close top 6 over here. And Karthik Sub is just slowing the pack down to make sure that he can get the best launch. And considering that he didn't have much time before he can go, he's going to try and absolutely nail this start. And we can see Karthik Sab has already gone, but Inder Des has 5 seconds for collision with Like Mike. Karthik Sab gets an absolutely amazing start, already 1.5 seconds ahead. Slayer gets a decent start, although Ink gets a very, very poor restart, so now he's a second behind. Slayer, Envy is right behind Ink, so he definitely caught that, and now we can see sort of Fat went slightly off wide, but keeps it on track, does not spin off into the gravel or into the wall. We can see Envy is now closing in up onto Ink, who's not really had much pace. Envy, he is on hards though.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, although right now he's looking faster than Ink, who is on mediums.
Yeah, he does look to be having the better grip, or maybe he did not warm up his tires or whatever it is. He seems to be having the upper hand at the moment. But yeah, let's see how this carries on. So far I think we had a kind of a relatively clean start behind. I did see a few positions swapping here and there. But up ahead, Karthik, what a start did he get? I mean, I think he completely caught Blaze napping over there. He already got a 1.7 lead. That's an amazing restart. And sorry again, the Koushik has gone down to P17. So I guess he did not have the ideal start over there.
I was going to point that exact thing out, but I think he pit again because he's on softs now and not on mediums.
So probably some tire weaving or something going wrong, because I did see some collision penalties for interdays. It was I don't know who that was. Someone got a collision penalty, I guess, that had some
Like
kind of
mine.
impact.
That was like Mike, and we can see Deadshot has made a mistake and he's spun off. And we can see Abhi yet again closing up onto Blaze. Blaze was closing up onto Abhi, but right now it looks like Abhi has found pace on his tries. Can we look at the tires detail, please? Yeah, so looks like Abhi has definitely found pace on those mediums. There's yellow flag in sector 1. Not sure who spun off
That's
there.
like Mike.
That is like Mike, who had a collision with someone and got 5 seconds for it. So that's not going well for him. And we can see Abhi. Apologies. We can see Envy, who's behind Ink right now. And
Slayer
there's
has
someone
gone
gone
off.
off. Why that Slayer's gone off? So Slayer's made a mistake going through the Deknas. He definitely ran off. I mean, he kept it on track. Did not get any wing damage or anything. But yeah, I mean, he had a lot of space. He pulled away from Ink and such. He's closing in onto Abhi. It's not going to help him out. And as Slayer is now trying to fight off from Turbochuk and sort of Fat. And there's just a line of us behind him. And we can see Envy is going side by side with Ink. Envy censored down the inside on his hards. And he's definitely found those grip on the hards because he's gone past Ink, who is on the mediums. We can see now sort of Pat is overtaking Slayer. And here comes Dark Knight. And now sort of Pat is giving slipstream to Dark Knight. And he is ahead of Slayer as well. So that's been a very, very bad lap for Slayer.
Yeah, that's a very nightmare scenario for Slayer, because he was running in P4 or P3 or something, and I don't know what happened. Had a very bad Dignit one and just went off. It looked like a lapse of concentration or something, but whatever it was, it cost him very dear.
Definitely, and we can see Abhi is very close to
Maybe he had a
Blaze.
wing damage or something. He's going into the pits.
Yeah, I think he did get wing damage from somewhere. Although now we can see ABD and Sai Tarun are making their way up the field from P last. They're up into P11, P12 respectively. And we can now see, will there be some sort of team orders playing out here? I think they already have played out here, since Sorpet on the softs is ahead as Koushik sets the fastest lap on his mediums. Although right now he is outside of the point scoring position. He will not get the fastest lap point either, since that is only for top 10. As Ink has made a mistake and he is falling down the order. Can we go on board Ink really quickly, please? So Ink made a mistake somewhere. Not sure if he has damage or not. So he did it through going through the S's in sector 1, not through the Dagnas. And now he's being put under pressure by APD and Sai Tarun. APD is really charging up over here. APD is carrying Sai Tarun through the field. Sai Tarun will be really thanking APD right now. Although we can see Sai Tarun is now trying to make a move on ABD. And he backs off somewhere. Yeah, he definitely backed out before going into the spoon corner. ABD goes off slightly wide. I think ABD does not have an end plate. ABD has wing damage. ABD definitely has wing damage because Sai is past him over here. Although Sai does have 3 second time penalty. That's going to help him out. Sorfed, we can see, is putting Turbochuk under pressure going through the final corners. And we can see Abhi has made a move for P2 on Blaze. Going up ahead again into turn 1. So he did what Blaze did to him into turn 1 just 10 laps ago, I believe it was. And we can see now Sorpat is past Turbochuk. He's up into P5. Now Dark Knight will be looking to make a move on Turbochuk, as Turbochuk is in the dirty air of Sorpat going through the S's, so it's not going to happen. But as we can see, he's already struggling a bit. He is going off wide slightly, and he's struggling as ABD pits. Of course, he had damage, so he had to pit. He is not sure what he's going. I believe he will be going on. He is gone on to mediums, I think it is. Yeah, 3 lap old mediums he's gone on to. And we can see Dark Knight is right behind Turbochuk. He's constantly trying to pressure Turbochuk, and Sai Tarun gets another 3 seconds. So he has 6 seconds now. That just again putting a lot of salt into the wound. He has 9 seconds. Apologies. Yeah, so it's just put a lot of salt into an open cut fresh wound, and it's not going to really help out Sai Tarun at the end of the day. We can see Dark Knight is really putting the pressure on Turbochuk. Turbochuk is on the softs, and we can see Inder Des has now spun in the S's, and we can see Koushik is trying to make a move on Deadshot, and there's yellow in sector 1 and 2. It's still that.
Is he pit? Or has he made a mistake? He just lost 2 positions already.
I think he has made a mistake yet again. And while we were talking about Ink, we could see that Koushik went off wide while trying to make a move on Deadshot. Now he's coming right back at Deadshot. He's going down the inside. They're going side by side, but yeah, he just makes a move down the inside before even going into 130R. Deadshot, of course, is going to have that DRS. So the Deadshot is now coming back on Koushik. Deadshot outbreaks Koushik, although gets a very poor mid corner. And now Deadshot has made a mistake. Koushik gets off foot slightly off his line. That really pushes Koushik back. So it's not gone well for Koushik.
I thought that was a done and dusted move, but Deadshot came back and now Koushik is going for it again, but he backs out. And while this was going on, Dark Knight has made his move past Turbo Chuk. So Alpines are moving up the grid.
Definitely, that Alpine teamwork is really working on. As Deadshot makes a mistake, I think that's definite damage for Koushik. Koushik is not gonna very, very good race for him. He had very good qualifying, put it on pole by 5/10 almost. He's not having a very good race here.
Yeah, definitely, but the contact did look very minimal. I don't know why his car just stopped, but whatever it is, his race is absolutely in the trash right now. Definitely not the kind of return he would have wanted for, but he just got to put his chin up and just carry on, because he did put up a good performance. Getting a pole on the first race back is not a very easy task, but yeah, it's really unfortunate. You see, Deadshot is also going slow. I wonder what happened to him.
He's also made a mistake, and
he's missing an end plate. He's missing a right end plate.
Yeah, so he'll have to pit again. And as ABD is now past Koushik, although the Mercedes drivers have not had a very, very good race here in Japan, both of them struggling over here. And we can see Ink also made a very big mistake a few laps ago and made another mistake following that. So he dropped down to P13 after that. So he's not had a very good race either. And we can see Envy, who started, I believe, P18. He's already up into P4. And he's charging down onto Blaze. He's made up 15 positions. So that's been a very, very good race for Envy with 10 more laps to go. So we have to see at the end of the day where he ends up. And we can see ABD's past Deadshot who pit, of course, because he had damage. Now Blaze is trying to put pressure on Upbeat. Koushik Tummala retires in the pit.
I think he's had enough for the day and he's just throwing in the towel.
Definitely. I mean, he was saying that he's not going to have a good race. We were cheering him on, and looks like his words came out true, unfortunately. He DNFs in P18. ABD is the only running Mercedes currently, with him scoring only 1 point as of now, unless he can make positions with 10 laps to go. And we can see currently Blaze is still trying to put pressure on Abhi, although he is falling slightly back considering that Blaze is on hards and Abhi is on medium, so his medium tires are helping him out a lot.
Yeah, but earlier Blaze had fallen down, but now he's clawing back the gap. He's getting ever so close into turn 1, but I do think there is some move coming soon, maybe 2 or 3 laps when the mediums start to slowly go away.
Definitely, they look like they are going away, so perhaps I think going on to the hards was a good decision at the end of the day after all.
Oh no, I think we just worked our magic here. Blaze has spun out and he is out of the podium contention for now, and Envy has moved up into P3. How convenient for him.
Definitely very convenient for him. Now he can fight for P2, and we can see now Like Mike is pressuring Ink.
Actually, it was the other way around. Ink had just made the move on Like Mike, so Ink is making his way up. Unfortunately, I think it's a bit too late, but let's see what kind of positions he can recover from this point.
I apologize for that, but yeah, let's see what he can recover. I mean, Sai Tarun does have 9 seconds, so that's definitely going to be 1 position plus for him, but we'll have to see where at the end of the day where he ends up. And we can see both now the Alpines, now they're pressuring onto Blaze. Blaze was before only being pressured by either Abhi or either Envy, but now he's being pressured by 2 cars at the same time. And as we were saying, that ABD spun, although he has a large gap behind him, so he's not going to lose out of the position right now at least. But yeah, we can see now Saurabh with his soft tires, he's really closing up onto Blaze. And I think as the soft tires are probably dead by now. Can we look at the tire data again? Yeah, so the soft is a 9-lap hold, so they're definitely dead minus. I think there'll be a team order coming in sometime soon between the Alpine drivers. Um, since the mediums are definitely the faster tire right now compared to the softs, of course, especially when they're 11-lap old. And we can see Sai Tarun got another 3 seconds. Sorry, apologies. It was Deadshot who got 3 seconds, and now Sai Tarun goes off wide as he was trying to challenge Leon, who's also doing his first race back in a while. We can see that Sai Tarun is making some mistakes going through the first sector, through the first essence, but he's still keeping it fairly clean. I mean, as long as he's not spinning off or crashing out or something, then I guess it'll work out. I mean, he definitely has, again, 8 more laps to make a move on Neon, so he has time for that. And as we can see, Envy has closed up a whole second and about 2 laps it is, I believe, onto Abhi. Abhi under pressure from Envy, and I think this will be somewhat of an easy move from Envy. Although, do you think, Deepak, that if Envy gets past Abhi now, can he close a 3.5 second gap to Karthik?
It's gonna be tight, but I wouldn't really count it out because he has been showing some extraordinary pace. And Karthik, although he has been pulling away, it's still not that much enough to say that he'll be pulling away very solid. Yeah, but Envy is going down the inside. Is he? No, he's staying back. He's tucking behind Abhi. I thought for a moment he was going for a move there, but yep, so stick behind. But behind we do see some change in positions. Oh, Saurav has pitted.
Saurav has definitely pitted, and he's gone on to mediums for the last couple of laps, which is a very weird strategy. But Turbochoke has gone on to softs, a fresh set of softs. So that promotes Blaze up into P5, but considering that, apologies, Darknet up into P5, but considering Blaze has 3 second penalty, I think there'll be a very solid
they have a spun Ferrari, those Neon, who lost a couple of positions, I think.
Oh no, and as we can see, Envy also somewhat lost it on the exit over there, although he did keep it. Very good car control from Envy over here. Yeah, I think what you said, Deepak, is definitely true. I wouldn't really want to count out Envy from fighting with Karthik, although if he does not make a move over here, I think in this lap, then I think it'll be very, very tight unless he can really punch in those laps. And as Leon has retired now, will there be a last few laps?
ABD has also retired.
There is a safety car. ABD has also retired, so I think there was some sort of collision since they were both very close to each other.
No, it has been 2 separate incidents. ABD has gone out in the SS and Neon has gone up straight in the hairpin.
Okay, I apologize for that then, but yeah, that was really bad timing. And now all the guys will be pitting for softs, and we're gonna have about, I'd say, last 3-4 laps of a shootout for the win. Every driver, as you can see, is pitting now.
We almost got Envy on the pitch there. That was a very close release over there.
Yeah, very, very close release. But then, of course, this game just did not allow, and Blaze is on mediums. That does not help the fact that he already has 3 seconds, and now that the safety car is going to bunch everyone up, that is going to put him down on much more positions than he really wanted to. And now, as we can see, yeah, the whole field is now pitting for either fresh softs, or if they don't have fresh softs remaining, then they are pitting for mediums.
Saurav actually pitted the lap earlier, so maybe he might have been thinking maybe could have hung out for another lap, but hindsight is always 20/20. But I would say his position loss is very minimal because he just lost net 1 position through this, so in the end it kind of comes back to him actually.
Yeah, you are right, and I think it was a better decision to pit 1 lap before. I mean, of course, he did not know that a safety car would be coming out the next lap, but it really worked out for him, considering that if he was right ahead of Dark Knight or even behind Dark Knight, they would have definitely double stacked, considering the amount of laps that are remaining. It is really unwise to stay out on whatever old tires that they had. They both, of course, had to pit, so someone would have lost out in the pits and lost a lot more positions, whereas now Saurabh has only lost net 1 position. So at the end of the day, it has actually worked out for him.
Yeah, but another thing he's going to have to consider is he is going to be starting ahead of 2 soft runners who is going to be having the supreme grip, and Dexter has retired. He has gone off in the SS.
Yeah, again, the SS just catching out the drivers, and that's 5 drivers now retired from this race with about 5 laps to go. I think I think the safety car will go in the next lap. But yeah, coming back to the point, Surfbat would definitely be under pressure. Although I think if they can play it out as how they did earlier, where we could see, a reverse where Surfbat was ahead on soft tires and he was pulling away with Dark Knight behind him on mediums, I think it could work out for them if they played out like that yet again. But then of course it's going to be hard considering the drivers behind him are on softs. So the one thing he would take as a positive note is that Alex does have a time penalty compared to him not having any, so that's gonna help him out. And as Sai Tarun now pits for a fresh set of soft.
I don't know what's going on with Sai Tarun today, because this is the second time we're seeing him pitting twice under the safety car.
Yeah, definitely. I think that he's just. I think he really wants. I think he wanted to go into a fresher set of tires, but then his tires are perhaps glitching out, as it is a glitch in this game where the tires just bug out, and it gives you the wrong set of tires. So I think that is what's happening over here right now, and that is why he had to pit twice under both the safety cars.
I do think Sai Tarun might be having some kind of a game glitch, so I wonder how the coordinators will be treating that. Of course, we do know that it needs more than 3 or 4 drivers to be affected for some kind of action to be taken, but let's see. But it does look like Sai Tarun is suffering from some kind of issues in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And as we can see in the races caught up, so safety car will be in this lap. Sai Tarun's not had a good race at all in Japan after having a very solid P5 qualifying position. He's down into P13, although of course he can try and salvage back whatever he can in the next 4 laps. TurboChook is now desyncing, so this game and its desync issues are just not leaving us at all here today.
Yep, I mean it is comparatively minimal, but still it's enough to ruin a few people's races, and that's definitely not something that you want to see, because drivers do put in a lot of time and effort to practice. I've seen these guys doing a lot of race runs, some quali runs, like setting up free practice session, and investing a lot of time into this, and being undone by no fault of yours is definitely not easy to take.
Definitely, and we found a victim of that, which is Sai. He had a very good position through qualifying. He only lost 1 position, and there's a very late safety car going in this lap message, a very, very late safety car.
Yep.
It's come out at possibly the worst possible position for Karthik Sub.
Yeah, he definitely couldn't back up the pack at all, and he couldn't get the launch like the last time around. And he should have gotten just enough distance, but it's not going to be enough. And Envy is under attack from Upbeat right now. Will Upbeat go for the move? This will definitely complicate the fight for the race win. Nope, he doesn't. He stays back, so that's all good. And we do see 2 packs of safety car restart. Like, we do see this pack and there's another pack behind. So definitely the late message has put some kind of synchronization issue with these guys, but we are through the safety car restart. It's all good, and yeah, it is as it stands. But I am afraid it won't be the same for a long time, because Envy definitely does look much more crazier.
Definitely, Envy is looking very, very quick. Although I think Karthik Sub will be trying to keep ahead of Envy with the help of his ERS, since he's not going to have TRS, since there's no car ahead of him. And whilst we were talking about that, Fuzzy Dunlop spun. He's now back into P13 on medium, so that's not gone well for him at all. The safety car restart. Although we can see, because Envy is really struggling, as Abhi spun. And it just looks like every time I open my mouth about some driver doing well, they just make a mistake. So the commentator scores is really hitting hard for these drivers. Because I was about to say, Abhi is doing really well in P3. Now he's being put under pressure by players. Players passed him already. Abhi's going to have really, really hot tires over here. So he won't be really trying any risky moves. And if he's going off wide, he's under pressure from his teammate behind Sai Tarun, but he does have a lot of time penalties. Sai does. So I don't think there'll be much of team orders here. And we can see Envy set the fastest lap. He's only 3/10 behind Karthik Sub over here. We can see Envy is really, really punching down on Karthik Sub. Can we go about Karthik Sub to check his ERS level? Yeah, Karthik Sub is down 10%. No, Karthik Sub is down 10%, and that 10% makes a lot of difference at such a track where you need to get as much engine power as you can, because the downforce is really holding you down. Envy is trying the best that he can to cut across the corners to gain as much time as possible that he can on Karthik's sub. Karthik's sub has to hold Envy off over here for the next 2 laps. He's going to be put under a lot of pressure over here from Envy, and it's going to be a podium for Dark Knight if the trend continues and he does not get a 3-second time penalty. So he's going to be pretty delighted with that as well. Coming back though to the top 2 positions fighting, Karthik sub is just not having the right spoon corner. Took a very wide line through there. That's putting Envy right behind him. Envy and Karthik sub are now going side by side. Envy is now ahead of Karthik sub. And that was a very, very clean move. Although Karthik sub is now going to put Envy under pressure to try and make a move on Envy. Or at least force him to make a mistake so that he does have chances of making a move on Envy as Slayer gets past Ink. Envy does make a mistake. Although Karthik sub had very good reaction time, so he managed to not get himself any damage, although that's not in the long run. DRS now gets enabled, 2 laps remaining.
I think Karthik would have thought he had the move done because Envy had a very squirrely exit, but that ultimately countermaced Karthik's line because he had to back off to avoid hitting his car. So yeah, it's very bad from his POV.
Definitely, considering the nature of the track, very tight, especially through that last turn. It just compromised him. He could have definitely made a move there, but yeah, just did not work out for him. And now we can see Envy is really punching in the laps. He's almost a second ahead of Karthik sub already.
Yep.
So he's really, really quick. And we can see Alex is now putting Surfbat under pressure, although Alex does have 3-second time penalty. Surfbat does not have any penalties. So I think that will be a clear-cut position for Surfbat at the end of the day. As long as, of course, he can stay ahead of Turbochuk, who's also closing up onto these guys over here because since they are fighting it out.
Up ahead, Envy has broken free of the DRS range. So, yep, he definitely has this in the bag, and unless he makes some kind of mistake, which I don't think he might be doing because he seems to be having good control of his race play.
Definitely, Envy just has a lot of race space, and I think if Koushik was here, he was faster than Envy, or at least close to on Envy on the race space. So we could have seen a 3-way battle perhaps for the win. Although, yeah, it is still a very interesting way. As we can see, Alex is now closing up on to Surfbat. Alex has the DRS, passes him quite easily around the outside. I don't think Surfbat will be making a move down the inside. Not too far behind. Yeah, but again, Alex does have a time penalty, so it's not going to be much of an issue for Surfbat as Dark Knight crosses Blaze. So now, Surfbat is in a very, very solid contention for P4 as long as he can keep it ahead of Turbochuk.
Yep, he needs to stay within the gap, and Dark Knight has made sure he gets a podium no matter what by beating Blaze on track, which I did saw that coming through because the tire difference was definitely going to come in at some point. So, yep, he just needs to clean, not get any penalties, and he's through for his podium today. And I think Slayer made another mistake or something. He just dropped a ton of positions. But yeah, Blaze had a very bad exit. I think Alex might be having a look. Nope, he's a bit far too behind. But he just closed down, so the Soft might be coming into his advantage, and Blaze could be down another position.
Definitely. Can we look at time penalties? We just missed that.
Oh, I'm not again. Yeah, there we go.
So both of them have 3 seconds. So this is a fight for position. This is a fight for who can stay ahead. Of course, Surfbat does not have any penalties. So he'll be passing the both of them. You can see Envy coming across the final chicane on the last lap, almost 2 seconds ahead of here. And he comes across the final corner. Envy comes across the line and he wins in Japan, followed by Karthik sub. Dark Knight is on the podium. This fight is, we'll have to see. Blaze does stay ahead. Surfbat P4, Blaze does stay ahead, P5 for him. Alex P6, Turbochuk P7, Abhi P8, Ink P9, Like Mike P10, Fuzzy Dunlop in P11, Sai Tarun P12, Leia, who made a mistake in the second last lap and got damaged clearly by the looks of it. Not a good race for him. He is in P12. Sai Tarun gets pushed on to P13 because of time penalties, and the last finisher is in the race. Oof, what a race that was. It was a very, very close race. Very interesting one as well. We had a very interesting qualifying. Koushik put it on pole. He just did not have a good race, hence why he went into the pits and DNF'd. Envy, of course, went from P18 to P1. Very good race for him. And as we're just waiting here for Inderdays to cross the line before we get the final standings for you guys here. I think he was trying for the fastest lap. Not sure if he got it. I don't think he got it.
Right,
But
so,
yeah, what a race
yeah.
that was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I did think that maybe Koushik coming back would have some kind of a change in the top order, but NVA just proved that he's pretty quick in the race to make sure. And it was a bit unfortunate on the Koushik side because he was leading pretty good, but the safety car really messed up his race, and that was very unfortunate for him. But whatever happens, NV is the man who won the race today. So yeah, congratulations to this man. And Karthik sir on his comeback, I thought he could have hung on a bit more on the race lead, but unfortunately he couldn't. And he's in P2 and Dark Knight at the P3 that has been coming for a few rounds, I would say, because it has been on the fringes but couldn't just get on. But this time he has managed to get on the podium.
Yup, he has after trying for so long, and Envy of course won with the fastest lap from starting P19 from the grid, followed by Karthik Sub, who was really close battle between the two of them, followed by Darknet, who will be delighted to be on the podium. Thor, Fad, then Blaze, Alex, Turbochuk, Abhi, Ink, who had a very bad race as well, Like Mike, Fuzzy Dunlop, Slayer, YT, Sai Tarun, Inderdays was the last finisher. The non-finishers were Deadshot, Neon, ABD, Koushik, Mightyol, and Uday. And as we'll get the drivers in for the podium interviews.
Sir, Dan, it's our third podium under you.
And I think there was a bit of a miscommunication there since you are in a different VC now, my friend. And Deepak, if we could go to the podium interview screen. All right. Let's get started with the podium interview then for the Japanese Grand Prix in Tier 21. Dark Knight, are you there?
Yes, yeah, sorry about the just a second back.
Yeah, absolutely no problem, Dark Knight. A very good race from you over here today. You and Saurav Pat, very good teamwork from the both of you, which helped you at the end of the day to get that podium. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, so in qualifying, I knew that I didn't have much pace. It's not one of my best tracks, and then I was hoping for Saurav to qualify up ahead, but he had an incident and he started P18. And then after that, it was just basically you just had to stay off curbs and keep it clean. And that's what he did. And I got to give it to Saurav. He defended very well for the few laps so that I could pull away, make a gap from the from Alex and Blaze.
Yep,
Yeah.
very good teamwork from the both of you there today. Throughout the race, it was basically like I'd say like what happened with the Aston Martin boys in Silverstone the first round of this season. It was very good teamwork watching the both of you as well. It was very interesting and very fun to watch the both of you. Congrats on the podium. If that's it from me, Deepak, if you have anything to ask that night.
No, nothing. I think you covered it all. That was pretty good performance from you, Ragnar. It was really nice to see. And I do think this really helps you guys to claw back some points at Aston Martin boys because so far Aston Martin have been having a strong finish, but this time I think Ink had a very bad finish. I think you guys definitely have clawed back some points, I feel like.
Yeah, obviously. Ink, I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, he was P9. So it's a good points for us. Obviously, I retired last race in Bahrain, so I lost a good amount of points. So yeah, this is a good result to get.
Yep. Once again, congrats on the podium, Dark Knight. Enjoy it.
Thanks.
Deepak, why don't you take us away with the P2 finisher, Karthik Sub?
Yep. Hello, Karthik. Could you hear
Hello.
us? Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, so a nice race from you. And I did thought you would hold on to the lead a bit more longer than that. What exactly happened? I think you had a very bad exit out of Spoon Corner. What happened there?
Well, I was on used softs because I had done 3 runs in qualifying. So
Okay.
my tires were worse than what NV had. And I think the last safety car was kind of screwed me over because, NV is a lot quicker than me. And there's not much I could do to defend in those last few laps. Had the safety car, the last one had not come in, I could have kept the lead maybe.
Yeah, and also we did notice that the safety car in message came a bit later on our screen. So was it the same for you as well, or was it different for us? Just wanted to know.
Oh, it was on the last corner, very last corner, just at the chicane, that the message came in.
Yep, even I was a bit
Uh,
confused because usually you get that message as you're approaching 130R and usually start backing up the pack and approaching everything. But it came out at a very late time at the Casio triangle. So did it compromise the safety car restart there?
A little bit, but actually no, because I think everyone was caught off guard, and hopefully I didn't create an incident behind because I had to slow down dramatically. But yeah, it was fine, I guess.
That's right. So could you talk what happened to your teammate Ink or that, because he was running in a decent position, but all of a sudden he just seemed to make a lot of mistakes and lost a lot of positions. So any information on that?
Yeah, I mean, this is Japan, so Japan's actually the toughest track for me, and I guess for a lot of people. It's tough to even race here. It's pretty much driving to survive, hoping to make it to the finish. And Ink had a few issues with some of the curbs, I think. He spun out. Or maybe I think Sector 1, somewhere in Sector 1, he spun out twice.
All right. Yeah, but still a good performance considering that you're saying that it's a toughest track, but still that was a really good performance from you. Yeah, definitely. I think you'll be having a good night's sleep today. Got a really good performance today.
Yeah, thanks. After not attending the last race, it's good points. So
Yeah.
congrats to Dark Knight and Envy. Envy was super quick. Congrats to him.
Yep. All right. Moving on to Envy. SimplyYT take it away.
Yeah, sure. Envy, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Envy. So you had a very, very poor qualifying. You retired in the beginning of qualifying itself. And then, yeah, you just had a lot of race space. I mean, of course, it was expected from you. You just had like a lot of race space. And throughout the race, you were making moves lap after lap, especially the first 3 laps were really, really interesting to watch you because you were just hounding through the field and making a position after position after position, lap after lap. And you were making moves in very, very interesting corners. Why don't you talk us through all of that?
Well, yeah, my initial thought was since my teammate was starting beside me, I told him not to fight me. Yeah, so team orders there. But right after that, I did make plenty of moves on the start of the race, but I don't know what happened. I guess a McLaren went out of track and the Haas pushed me out, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, going over the overtakes, this was one of the cleaner races that we have done, actually. Like everybody was super clean, no first lap incidents, and everybody was being pretty cautious. And yeah, I felt confidence in others, like, they won't close the door on me and all. So yeah. And talking about my strategy, I don't know why Jeff put me on hards. I don't know why, but then yeah, the safety cars were in my favor in this race, which kind of helped me to do the last to first thing.
Yep, they did help you out indeed, Jeff. So are somewhat, I mean, apologies. What I meant to say was Jeff did put you on hards, but it didn't really look like you were on hards. You were really, really quick compared to Ink, who was on mediums and the drivers ahead as well. So did you perhaps think that even if you are on hards, perhaps you could,
Yeah,
if
that's
there
why I
was
did
no
pick.
safety car, you could win regardless?
I did see me while battling Abhi. I did see we were closing up to Karthik. So I was like, okay, fine. We have another 11 laps or 10 laps or so to catch up. And we were catching him at a pace of 0.1 seconds or something. Either he wasn't pushing, I don't know. But then I was confident that by the end of the race, I would be behind him. But fortunately or unfortunately, the safety car had come out. And then, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Karthik, although it did help you out a lot.
Yeah, I did.
That's it from me, Deepak. If you have anything, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered everything. And like Envy said, it was actually quite surprising to see no incidents in turn one because Suzuka is quite notorious for turn one incidents, especially in races like this. But I think except one car which went into the pits, I think everyone else had a very clean start, which was really nice to see. So yeah, big shout out to all the drivers and yeah, a big shout out to you guys as well. Amazing performance today. And yeah, I guess that's it from me.
Yep, congrats on the podium. NV, congrats on the win
Thank
to
you.
you as well. And congrats to all of the podium setters. Very good race from all of you. That's it from our side, though. Very, very interesting race and qualifying we had today at Japan. Don't forget, we do have ACC tomorrow at Bathurst. That's going to be very interesting to watch it. So do tune in at 8:30 p.m. to watch our ACC boys battle it out in Bathurst. Followed by that, on Sunday, we're back in Japan, although on F122. We are back with Tier 2 first on at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. IST, that is. And then, due to the Belgium Grand Prix being held at a very sort of unconventional time, our Tier 1 race will be delayed to 9 p.m. IST. So that's an hour delay. Instead of 8 p.m., we're starting at 9 p.m. So do tune in for the fastest boys in IRC to see them battle it out in Japan as well. That's it from me. That's it from Deepak. That's it from IRC as well. If you are interested in racing with us, then do make sure to join our Discord server, which is given on your screens right now. So do make sure to join us. And that's it from our side. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.